Hello, my name is Miss Countryman, and I'm going to be retelling a story, Jack and the Beanstalk, along with some thinking questions. There was once a poor widow who had a son named Jack and a cow named Milky White. All they had to live on was the milk that the cow gave every morning, which they carried and sold at the local market. But one morning, Milky White the cow gave no milk, and Jack and his mother did not know what to do. "What shall we do? What shall we do?" said the widow. "We must sell Milky White, and with the money, do something, like start a shop or find a new way to make money." Jack agreed to take the cow to the market, so he grabbed her halter and led her away. Jack had not made it very far when he met a funny-looking old man who said, "Good morning, Jack." "Good morning," said Jack, and he wondered how the old man knew his name. The old man asked Jack where he was going, and Jack told him that he was planning to sell Milky White at the market. The old man said that he was in need of a cow himself and offered Jack some funny-looking beans in exchange for the cow. Jack laughed. This man was going to offer him beans for a whole cow? The man then said, "If you plant them overnight, by morning, they will grow right up into the sky in a huge stalk." "Really?" said Jack. The old man said that if the beans didn't grow, he would return Milky White and they could trade back what they've sold. Jack was intrigued, so he gave the man Milky White in exchange for the 5 beans and went back home. When he got back home, his mother seemed surprised. "You haven't got Milky White," she said. "How much did you sell her for?" The mother expected Jack to have sold Milky White for a large sum of money, so she was shocked to find out that he sold Milky White for only 5 beans. "What have you done? You're such a fool," she said. She sent Jack to his room with no supper and threw the beans out the window. She didn't think they were worth as much as he did. Jack went upstairs to his room with no supper and soon fell asleep. When he woke up, his room looked funny. The sun was shining into part of it, but the rest was shady, so he went to look out the window. At the window, he saw a huge beanstalk that had grown up from the ground in the garden where the mother had thrown the beans all the way up to the sky. So the man told the truth after all. The beanstalk was growing quite close to Jack's window, so he decided to climb it. Being like a ladder, he was able to climb and climb and climb and climb until he reached the top of the sky. When he got there, he found a long road going straight as an arrow. He walked along until he came to a great big tall house, and on the doorstep was a giant, big, tall woman. "Good morning," said Jack. "Could you be so kind as to give me some breakfast? I haven't had anything to eat since yesterday morning, and I'm very hungry." The giant looked at Jack and said, "You better be careful. My husband is a giant, and there's nothing he likes to eat more than boys broiled on toast. You'd better be moving along." Jack begged the giant to let him have some breakfast. She was a kind giant and let Jack inside. She gave him a piece of bread and a small piece of cheese and a little glass of milk. Jack hadn't even finished half of his breakfast when he heard thump, thump, thump. The whole house began to tremble with the noise of something coming. It was the husband giant. The wife hurried Jack into the oven to hide him as the giant came in. He was a huge giant with 3 cows strung up on his belt. He threw the cows onto the table and looked at his wife and said, "Here, wife, broil me these cows for breakfast. And what is that I smell?" "Fee, fi, fo, fum, I smell the blood of an Englishman. Be he alive or be he dead, I'll have his bones to grind my bread." The wife told the giant that he was crazy and dreaming. He only was smelling the scraps of the little boy he had for yesterday's dinner. He told the giant to go wash up and that his breakfast would be ready soon, so the giant went off. Jack was ready to escape from the oven, but the wife warned him and told him not to try and leave until the giant had had his breakfast and went down for a nap. So the giant had his breakfast and said, "Wife, bring me the hen that lays the golden eggs." So she brought the giant an ordinary-looking hen. The giant said, "Lay," and what do you know? The hen laid a golden egg. Soon the giant was asleep. Jack began to tiptoe out of the oven and grabbed a hold of the egg that laid the golden eggs. He quickly dashed out the house back towards the direction of the beanstalk. The husband giant thought he heard a crack of the hen and said, "Wife, where's the egg? And where's the hen?" But she did not know. She didn't see Jack take the hen. Jack quickly made it back down the beanstalk and showed his mother the egg and the golden egg-laying hen. They were able to sell the eggs and lived a comfortable life. But it wasn't very long before Jack decided he might find something else valuable up in the sky. So one morning, he went up and climbed and climbed and climbed again until he reached the top of the sky at the end of the beanstalk. This time, he decided to sneak into the giant's house. He waited until he saw the wife leave the home and rushed into the door, hiding in a copper pot by the kitchen. It wasn't long until he heard thump, thump, thump. Same as before, the giant came in and said, "Fee, fi, fo, fum, I smell the blood of an Englishman. I smell him, wife, I really do smell him." The giant's wife said that if they were able to catch Jack, who stole the hen, that they might want to eat him for dinner for sure. They both rushed to look in the oven where Jack had been hiding before, but he wasn't there. The giant sat down to eat breakfast, but he wasn't sure why he could still smell Jack. He took a deep breath. "I could have sworn I smelled him." After breakfast, the giant decided he wanted to listen to music and asked his wife to bring him a golden harp. He said, "Sing," and the harp began to play the most beautiful music. Soon the giant was asleep, and Jack crept out of the copper pot. He grabbed the golden harp and dashed towards the door, but the harp called out quietly, "Master, master!" and the giant woke up just in time to see Jack running off with the harp. Jack ran as fast as he could, and the giant came running after. When Jack got to the beanstalk, the giant was not more than 20 feet away. Jack began to climb down as fast as he could. The giant wasn't sure about getting on the beanstalk, but he didn't want to let the harp get away. So Jack and the giant are now climbing down the beanstalk as fast as they can. Jack soon reached the ground and called out to his mother, "Bring me an axe." As the mother came to hand Jack the axe, she saw the giant climbing down after him. With 2 swings of the hatch, Jack was able to cut down the beanstalk. With the weight of the giant, the beanstalk tumbled to the ground, and the giant fell down and broke his crown, and was crushed by the weight of the beanstalk on top of him. Jack and his mother were able to sell the beautiful golden harp with the beautiful music, and she was delighted. They became very rich, and Jack got married to a princess, and together they lived happily ever after. So some questions to think about after hearing this story. Who are the characters? Who is your favorite character and why? Which character don't you like and why? What problems do the characters face? Do you think Jack was right to take from the giant? Why or why not? Do you think that Jack traded the family cow for some beans? Was that a smart move? Do you think it was the right choice? What would you have done? If this story had been written about your family, what object would you have traded for the magic beans? What do you think you might have seen at the top of the stalk? I hope you enjoyed this story retelling and have fun answering the questions. Thanks.